Hey everyone, what if all jobs are automated? Let us imagine a world where all jobs from doctors to construction workers to teachers to janitors to even programmers are done by robots or artificial intelligence. In this world, the factories will be fully automated with robots manufacturing everything that humans need. And AI-powered drones will deliver the products right to our doorsteps. We won't need to work at all. So we could spend our time doing whatever we want. Sounds like a dream come true, right? Well, not so fast. With all jobs being automated, there are some pretty big challenges that we have to consider. First, we need to figure out what would happen to people who currently do manual labor or other types of work. Would they become obsolete? How would they support themselves? What about healthcare, education, and other essential services? How would these be provided without human labor? One potential solution to these problems is universal basic income. This is an idea that has been around for decades. Basically, it works by giving everyone in the country a certain amount of money each month regardless of whether or not they work. The idea is that this would ensure that everyone has enough money to meet their basic needs and still have some left over to pursue other things in life. Of course, there are some potential drawbacks to this approach as well. For example, how would we pay for universal basic income? One way would be to tax robots and other forms of automation. This could be done by taxing the owners of robots based on how much they use them. The idea is that this would create a pool of money that could then be used to fund universal basic income. Another way would be to do away with the current tax system altogether and instead have everyone pay a fee based on how much they use government services. This could be done by tracking things like how often you go to the hospital or how many times you use public transportation. Then everyone would pay a fee based on their usage. But even if we can figure out how to pay for universal basic income, there are still some potential drawbacks to consider. For example, would people be motivated to work if they knew that they didn't have to? Would there be enough goods and services to go around if nobody was working? And what would happen to the economy if everyone stopped working? To really understand what would happen if all jobs were automated, we need to look at it from the perspective of supply and demand. Right now, most of the jobs that are being done by humans are being done because we are willing to be paid for them. The same goes for businesses. They are able to hire us because they can sell their products for more than the cost of hiring someone to make them. In other words, there is a balance between what people are willing to work for and what businesses are willing to pay. But if all jobs were automated, this balance would be thrown into chaos. Suddenly, there would be a huge surplus of goods and services with no one to buy them because no one was working. The entire economic system would collapse. So we would just have to deal with the problem of what to do with all the people who lost their jobs, but also the problem of what to do with all the goods and services that no one is buying. Another challenge that we would face if all jobs were automated is the potential for increased inequality. If robots and artificial intelligence are able to do everything that humans can do, then the people who own those robots and AI will be the ones who benefit the most. The same thing happened during the Industrial Revolution when machines started replacing human labor. The people who owned the factories and other forms of automation were able to make a lot of money, but the workers who were replaced by machines were left struggling to survive. If we don't do something to prevent it, the same thing could happen again. If all jobs are automated, we could end up with a society where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. But there may be some ways to avoid this outcome. One way would be to make sure that everyone has access to the benefits of automation. This could be done by investing in education and training so that everyone is prepared to work in an automated economy. It would also be important to make sure that everyone has access to the technology that will drive automation so that no one is left behind. Another way to make sure that everyone benefits from automation is to create new jobs that take advantage of the opportunities that automation creates. For example, as robots and AI start taking over more and more routine tasks, there will be a greater need for people who can design, build, and maintain those systems. There will also be a need for people who can develop new products and services that take advantage of automation. So if we're able to invest in education and training and create new job opportunities, we can make sure that everyone benefits from automation rather than just the rich. Despite these challenges, there are still some potential upsides to having all jobs automated. For example, we could see a huge increase in productivity. When machines take over routine tasks, humans will be freed up to focus on more creative and strategic work. This could lead to major advances in fields like science, technology, and art. Another upside of full automation is that we could see an end to many of the world's biggest problems. For example, poverty and hunger could be eradicated if machines are able to produce enough food and other goods to go around. And the environment could be saved if machines are able to find solutions to problems like climate change and pollution. However, there is one area where humans will likely continue to be irreplaceable, and that's in jobs that require empathy and emotional intelligence. Things like teaching, counseling, and healthcare are all jobs that require humans to interact with other humans. Even as robots and AI become more advanced, we're unlikely to see them replace teachers, doctors, and other professionals who need to interact with patients. That is because these jobs require a level of empathy and emotional intelligence that machines just don't have. And it's not just in these more traditional professions where empathy and emotional intelligence are important. Any job that involves interacting with customers or clients will require a certain level of human touch. Even as robots and AI take over more routine tasks, there will still be a need for people who can solve problems that require creativity and critical thinking. So even if all jobs were automated, there would still be plenty of opportunities for humans to find fulfilling work. What do you think, is a future where all jobs are automated something to strive for or something to be feared? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As I said in the beginning, this is just my opinion, and I am sure there are lots of different ways that this could play out in real life. But I think it is a really interesting topic to think about, and I hope it will help you think about the future of work. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm hoping to make more videos about automation and the future of work, as well as other topics related to technology and society. So stay tuned for more content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.